Okay, Coach, opening statement on the past week for the Ladyjacks.
Yeah, good week for the Ladyjacks. We went 2-0. Started out in New Orleans. Played a team that had been playing really well. Had won two of their last three in New Orleans, and we know that they're a very scrappy defensive team. So we knew we were going to have to share the ball and be clicking on all cylinders on the offensive end. I felt like we got off to a really good start. Went into a little bit of a lull until the third quarter. But we're able to make some shots and generate enough offense and get some key stops to really get the momentum back in our favor. And we're able to coast out a win in New Orleans. Then it was a quick turnaround coming back from New Orleans, getting prepared to play a really quality Lamar team that had only one conference loss coming in. And it was a battle. We knew it would be. It was a close game the first time we played them at their place. We led for the majority of the game, but we knew they wouldn't go away without a fight. We were able to make some big shots down the stretch and able to get the crucial stops that we talked about getting down the stretch and get some key rebounds. So I was really proud of our group and the fight and the tenacity that we had on a short turnaround from New Orleans to come back and get that Lamar game. And so now, sets us up for another big week in Lady Jack basketball.
All right, turn over to the media.
Yeah, Coach, talk about the momentum that, you feel like your team gained after that Lamar win. Obviously, I know, like you said, lost at Lamar, come back and able to close things out on Saturday. Just kind of talk about the momentum that you guys really gained heading into this final stretch.
Yeah, no, we always talk about any win in February is a good win. And so when we're talking about, trying to work for conference seedings and placement in the conference tournament, we have to continue to find that motivation. And so being able to have a big win, because again, it is a team that's a really good team, a team that we had lost to in front of a quality crowd. We're on the back end of a doubleheader, so we had a really quality crowd here. And so, it was an energetic game. It had a lot of feel to it. It felt like a playoff game or a conference tournament game in it. And so, ultimately, when you win games like that, you have a little bit of pep in your step the next day of practice and things like that. So we've talked about just carrying on that momentum the rest of the way. We've also talked about what's the hardest race to run. The hardest race to run is a marathon. So, it's mentally challenging and physically challenging. And that's what a basketball season is. It's a marathon. So you can't get too high, can't get too low. You got to just keep putting one foot in front of the other one and finding ways to be motivated throughout the entirety of it. And so that's really what we've talked about after that Lamar win.
Yeah, and you talked about the crowd obviously being at the back end of that doubleheader, having a really good crowd. Play at home tomorrow night, play at home on Saturday before heading out on the road for 4 games. How important is this crowd going to be heading down the stretch with just 4 home games left? Yeah,
no, I think, between our Purple Haze and our home supporters, they're really important to our success. And so even as a coach, we talk to them about, hey, guys, we got to make sure that we are playing well in front of our home fans. We want to make sure that, that if they've invested their time, they've invested their money to buy a ticket, that they're coming out and seeing a quality product. We don't want people to leave the sawmill and felt like they didn't see us play at our best or anything like that. So we come out with the intent to play well, play hard, and put on a show for our home fans. And, we've unfortunately only got one home loss, but again, we just want to make sure that we're giving the people of Nacogdoches a quality product that they can cheer on.
Yeah, and then coming up this Thursday, Texas A&M Corpus Christi obviously was almost 2 months since you guys had played them. Took a loss down in Corpus Christi. Kind of talk about what the difference you've seen in your team since then and the difference you've seen.
Yeah, that loss at UTRGV was really tough. For us we've talked about it. We did not play very well. But also, we have to give them credit. They played really well. They shot the ball really well. I think they made double-digit threes on us, which may be one of the only times we've given up that. So we have to be dialed in. Again, it doesn't matter who we are. They still see SFA on our jersey, and they're going to want to come in and play well versus us. So I know it was 2 months ago, but we've gotten a lot better, but so have they. So we've got to make sure that we're dialed in, we're clicking on all cylinders, and we're strapped in and ready to play that one.
I did mix up the games. I do apologize about that.
Hey, listen, we're all professionals here, so we just the great ones adjust. We'll just keep on rolling. We knew what you meant. We knew what you meant.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Obviously, these next 2 games, and then you got 4 road games coming up back to back to back to back. Mm-hmm. So just kind of talk about the importance of getting these 2 home wins, and then just having that mental toughness on the road, especially in February?
All right, yeah. Well, I mean, you got to take care of your business, and we talk about home. These are home games, so you need to make sure you're taking care of your home games. But also on the road, I've said this before. I like our team on the road. That gives us an opportunity to gel together as a group. When you're getting on and off of buses, getting in and out of hotel rooms, and eating on the road, that gives you that time to kind of gel as a team and bond. So obviously, I enjoy playing in front of our home crowd and our friends and family, but I also enjoy that time, that intimate setting with our team, to just watch our team grow and watch them interact and be organic with each other. So we need to take care of business, build that momentum up like we talked about, and then go on the road and see what we're made of. But, ultimately every road game is a test, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we're made out of.
And then injury-wise, how are you guys kind of looking with heading down the stretch?
I mean, right now we're as healthy as we can be. Again, we got, dings and things that you run into normally in February, but nothing that's earth-shattering or altering. So, again, we're just ready to rock and roll. Mm-hmm.
You talked about clicking on all cylinders. One aspect of that is the offense. You guys are 42nd in the nation in assists per game. You're 19th in the nation in scoring offense. You're 4th in the nation in three-point percentage. 8th in the nation in three-pointers per game. What does that speak to your offense as a whole?
I think that just says that we have some really good kids that can put the ball in the bucket, and that they like playing with each other. We're 42nd in the nation in assists, and I think that number could even be higher. We have a lot of weapons on this team, and we just got to share the ball. If we share the sugar, I think we can score with anybody in the country. We just got to make sure that we keep our eyes open and we're looking to find each other, whether that's off the pass or through screens. We got to work to get each other open as well. But as far as our shooting numbers and things like that, I knew this team could shoot way back in the summer. It was going to be a test of if we were able to share the ball, and if we were, like a lot of people say, you only get to play with one basketball. So are we going to share the ball, or is everybody going to get their proper amount of attempts? And through almost 30 games, we've seen that. And so proud of our group, proud of the way they share the ball, proud of the way they get up and down the floor with pace and transition. We just want to continue to see that. And then, as you get later in the season, we understand that the game slows down and it becomes an execution game. So you're not always just going to get breakout layups and steals for layups. So now we got to make sure we're honing in on the execution piece and making sure that we're ready to execute when the game is called for that.
Two of those kids that you see get buckets on a regular basis is Avery Van Sickle and Hermione Dominguez. Both of them are ranked top 20 in the nation in three-point percentage, both of them shooting over 44% this late in the season. What does that say to your style of offense, but also to those two kids and how they perform?
Well, I'll go to those two kids first. They put the work in to be that good. A lot of people, they come to the gym to get extra shots up. Those kids live in the gym to get extra shots up. And so really proud of them and their effort in getting extra shots up and putting their work in to be really good. And then you got to give a testament to their teammates. Their teammates are finding them when they're open, giving them good passes. The passes aren't at their feet and they're having to adjust. They're putting it right there in their shot pocket and making it easy for them to just finish off the product. So kudos to those kids for putting in the work, but then also their teammates for finding them when they're hot, making sure they're getting the proper amount of shots and the right timing. So it's beautiful to watch when those two are on fire. Makes my job a lot easier. So we need to continue to find them when they're open.
I'll be remiss if we don't talk about this. One of those players that did do well. First recognition, I believe, of the season. Faith Blackstone named Southland Player of the Week, especially with that huge performance where she sank 10 free throws or sent free throws at 10 out of 11 against Lamar. Just talk about Faith's play over the last week.
Yeah, Faith Blackstone, I've said this to anybody that'll listen, is a professional scorer. There's times where I'm sitting there and I feel like she has a bad game and I look up and she has 20 points. Again, she just finds a way to put the ball in the bucket and score points for her team when that's needed. But also, like, her rebounding in the last few games has been really intentional, whether it's offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds. She's really just been playing with her hair on fire from an offense and defensive standpoint and putting our team together. And so I'm really proud of that kid, the maturity that she brings to us, the scoring, the intensity that she plays with. It allows us to go to another level. So really proud she got that recognition of Player of the Week. I talk about this sometimes. We share the ball so much that our recognition is spread out sometimes. So us finally getting a Player of the Week and it being Faith, I'm really happy for her and just want to continue to see our team receive that accolade.
All right, now for the general preview of the matchups, we got the Vaqueros on Thursday, And also a very special promo item. First 300 fans get a National Girl, Women in Sports Day SFA branded T-shirt. Looks really cool. Very well received on social media too. And then
Do I get one of those shirts?
I think we'll work on that.
Okay.
We got you. And then on Saturday, first part of the doubleheader against Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Both of these teams just saw each other. RGV walking away 56-37. Just talk about what you can expect from both of these teams.
Yeah, two really good teams, two different styles of play, if I'm being honest. UTRGV likes to get up and down. They like to shoot the three. Like I said, we allowed them to make double-digit threes on us the first time. So they're going to get up and down in transition. They're going to want to shoot it quick from three. And they play a loose and free style on the offensive end, kind of like we do. So it'll be a high-paced game on Thursday night. And then you turn around and you play Corpus Christi, who's a grind-you-out, really defensive-minded team. They're going to switch their defenses. Coach Royce Chadwick is a former SFA Ladyjack head coach. Went to the Sweet 16, has a lot of accolades under his belt. And so we'll have to be dialed in because he's going to, throw the whole kitchen sink at us from defense to offense to come in here and try and get a win. But two different styles of play, both that we definitely need to make sure we're ready to rock and roll on.
And last one that's kind of not related to basketball, but there's a lot of days in the first week of February that are applicable to you. You got the start of Black History Month. Just yesterday, African American Coaches Day, and then, of course, obviously today, National Girl and Women in Sports Day. Just talk about just the month of February and all the important days that kind of get rolled up all together with you.
Yeah, well, I mean, let my wife tell it, February 14th is pretty important too.
Loved it, yeah, Valentine's Day.
Love Day is a pretty important one. But, honestly, with it being Black History Month, I just think that's where my focus goes to. National Women in Sports Day, that's where my focus goes to, are those two. I coach the Ladyjacks, and to watch these young ladies put out the effort that they do every single day in practice and watch it come together in games is pretty special, if I'm being honest. And then, I'm almost getting emotional right now just thinking about our team and how hard they work and how not only are they competitors, you watch them in their jerseys and they're competitors and they push it to the edge and they play with such tenacity, and then you see them off the floor and how they carry themselves as young women. That's really, really special. And then obviously it being Black History Month, we have a lot of African American ladies on our team that represent, their communities and their households in a high class manner, and just understanding that American history is Black history, basketball history is Black history, and things like that. And to be the first African American head coach at Stephen F. Austin, that's something that I wear with pride, and I want to continue to represent for the next era of coaches that want to get into it, that maybe of African descent. And again, just proud to be an African American, proud to be a part of this organization, and proud to be a Ladyjack. So it's all good.
2 chances to catch the Ladyjacks this week. Thursday, 6:30 against the Vaqueros of UTRGV, and then on Saturday against Corpus Christi at 2 o'clock. Coach, as always, thanks for the time.
Appreciate you. Happy Black History Month. Axum Jacks.